to do your shadow work and this card popped out twice, I was asking the question in my mind, what vulnerabilities do you have that I need to shed light upon to help you move past? And this card popped out. So what are you addicted to? What is that weakness that keeps you bound and chained that you cannot resist and say no to? Is it something healthy that helps you cope with other stuff, or is it something that you are not making a decision upon, although you are looking into the details of, but it's something perhaps small, immature, or too intricate with details, and you're not making a clear-cut decision about it. You don't want emotionality to influence your thinking process or how you are handling and seeing this. And this is in regards to a partner. Let me zoom out. So are you obsessed with a partner and spying on them and still not making a decision? And why is this so intoxicating and chaining you and bounding you? Why is this on excess in your current energy as at this time? Are you aware of this? Are you addressing this, or are you ignoring this? Because the more you are lingering in this whole mess, the more you are precipitating towards the clash and the fall of the tower, which might be quite disagreeable if you do not course correct and take some serious action in cutting ties with this obsessive toxic behavior or thinking that you're having in regards to a partner. But let us shuffle a bit more and dive into your shadow work spread. This was just like the extra bonus message. Hello Virgo, I'm the witch bitch that reads your soul, the broken people's mechanic, here to shed light on what is potentially broken or defective in your energetic field, your life, your thoughts, your emotional harmony, so that we can somehow find a process of repairing what is broken or defective, so that you will have a better, healthier life. I'm gonna toss the card aside, have a little wooden thingy in the middle to highlight the cards that I was talking about. You can listen to this as a podcast or tune in the imagery of the cards and see how they trigger you emotionally, psychologically, yeah, pretty much that. See how you feel, how you respond, how you react, and if you can analyze the end result of these triggering reactions, it can help you yourself shed a light on the messages that I'm about to deliver, so you can address these concerns and heal on your own with my aid, or with the process of this aiding, shedding a specific sort of light on your situation. Interesting fact, this Page of Wands has been popping regularly during shuffle, so this is definitely a very important or significant energy in your life at this moment. This is someone youthful, spontaneous, energetic, passionate, curious, just the life of the party, likes to go on an adventure, super curious, asks questions, goes without fear into the unknown, doesn't give a shit. It's just like gonna go climb a tree and then go fishing or swimming or whatever. It's like just like spontaneous, youthful, passionate, driven energy. All the rest is very sharp and sad, and it's interesting. But let's proceed as I said. So I'm gonna just toss the cards aside, bring in my wooden platter, put this in the center, these cards, and then zoom in. And we are good to go. Boom. Center, denial. So you are denying the fact that something has at some level ended. And so my question here is, are you the one who abandoned something and left them out in the cold, or are you on the receiving end of this energy? And why does this feel so very desolate and destitute and poor and miserable and heartbreaking? Have you ended a relationship of some sort with someone, or have the other party abandoned you and you feel completely abandoned and left out in the cold? And like I pointed out in Pieces reading, although you feel alone, you are never truly alone. There is always your guardian angel, your ancestor, your spiritual team, whatever you believe in. Even if you don't believe, they are still there. Human perception is very limited, and we take for fact the absolute bare necessity that our five senses are giving us, which are, if you consider, very limited, even at these five senses compared to other creatures on earth. So do not close the proverbial door on outside factors that could be still assisting you, even if you feel completely alone, abandoned, out in the dark, cold, empty night. And this energy is holy bunkers, my dude. So this breakup or this abandonment came out of nowhere. It was a complete surprise to you, unexpected, an upheaval, like you felt like the carpet was pulled from underneath your feet, or the ground just opened and swallowed something whole, and something was just like ripped out of your chest or your life or whatever. But also with the presence of the tower being so dramatic, this signifies that the actual foundation of whatever this was that led to this sense of abandonment and destitution, feeling poor, feeling lacking, being deprived of, is the end result, because whatever this situation applies to was built on weak foundations, shaky grounds, uncertainty. It was not real, concrete, solid enough to have carried towards a happy, fulfilling, solid, grounded energy. And you are still in denial of this. You are still not accepting this. And the more you are remaining stubbornly in denial, which is this, the devil card that we popped in the beginning, because you have the Devil and the Two of Cups. So if this is in relation to that obsessive, toxic spying and not making a clear-cut decision in regards to a significant other or a partner, the more you are stalling for time with the Two of Swords, the more the ground is weakening underneath the construction, the foundations of the tower, and the more the ground is weakening and becoming soft, the more the tower is at risk of crumbling down, falling down, and being hit by the divine forces and just helping in the destruction. If it doesn't come from the base, it will come from high above, because you have been stalling for too long of a time and it's like long overdue. It's welcomed invitation and stay. And now the question is, why is this so difficult to accept for you? If you are in full knowledge of having delayed and stalled for time and not taking any concrete action, you cannot expect people to be as patient and just sit there like a couch and wait for whenever you feel like you're ready to make a decision. So, and because you stalled for so long, the universe itself was like, okay, you're not taking a decision, I'm gonna take the decision for you. And so this happened, and now you're in denial and you are still stuck on this energy, because this is your main focus, this is at your heart of your read, and it has a very significantly deep impact on your emotional, spiritual, intellectual, psychological wellness in your current life when you are watching this video. Position number 2, when you feel anxious, and anxiety is a lack of confidence. So when you get anxious, nervous, or sensitive with others, and it's in regards to either a very wounded female energy that has been way the fuck too heartbroken and who has now clear boundaries, or your ability to communicate your feelings, your thoughts, your experiences in a demeanor, in a fashion that is clear, concise, where you are also protecting yourself with clear boundaries and not letting others stomp all over your feelings and your boundaries, all the while not being too quick, too sharp, and too rude in the way you are trying to share your thoughts and your emotions, but especially your thoughts and how things have happened or your perception of them. So, is this a person or you embodying the energy of the Queen of Swords? And it's definitely stressing. It's stressing you way the fuck out. But it's self-imposed. And so pay attention to how this Eight of Swords is depicted. First off, the avenue behind her and in front of her is completely clear, so she can step out of this at any moment she so desires. Only one sword is in the river, the water body, or the body of water that is flowing towards the viewer, and she has one foot in that. So specifically, instead of having a multitude of events that have become memories, there's one particular instance which is really negating and poisoning the flow, which causes her to be stuck in her head in this self-imposed bound and blindfolded situation where she refuses to see all these thoughts as potential aids to cut her ties and walk free out of this. So who or what was this situation that was so hurt in the past that created these almost insurmountable, unbreachable boundaries to protect herself that is now causing you anxiety? And it's also self-imposed. This girl in red could at any time decide to test the waters and the ground and see what's around her, to maybe use a sword to cut her ties, take her blindfold off, and then walk away from this. She has that power, but she stays there. So why is this so crucially important that you choose to fester in this negative feedback? Who is this Queen of Swords, and what is your prior history with her? And are you regretting whatever you did to this person who has now created such strong boundaries that you feel not attacked per se, but locked in, although it's your own, or it's the consequences of your own potential actions that landed you in this case, in this scenario? Inferiority. Do you feel immature? Do you feel, oh, battery low, give me a sec. And we're back. So, inferiority. Why do you lack confidence? You lack, so where it stems from for you is this sense of lacking youthful, carefree enthusiasm to dive into the unknown without a care in the world, just this sheer curiosity, this willingness to explore, to do things, to ask questions, to be stupid in the sense that you sincerely, truly do not know, but you want to explore and try, even if you might break a rib in the process, because it looks fun, because the promise of the adventure alone is sufficient to motivate you into going headfirst into whatever journey is presented to you. Maybe you are too much of the opposite, too much of a corporate person, sort of settled in their routine. As a Virgo especially, you are very much labor, attention to details, dedication, and depending on how much the memes are true, very germophobe, whereas this guy would bait in the mud with the pigs because the pigs are having a good old time and it looks stupid fun, especially on a rainy day, for example. It just doesn't give a shit. He likes adventure for the sake of the thrill of adventure without worrying about the consequences of whatever it might bring. And this is in regards of having options. So do you feel like you are not being creative enough, or not diverse enough, or rather too much, and you have difficulty deciphering what is valid, what has potential, where you should invest, and what is only fool's gold, for example. You lack confidence in potentially just taking any option available and going full steam ahead for it without worrying about the consequences. Maybe you are too set in your ways of trusting others to review things or to have prior experience that they shared upon which you yourself you can build your actions and decision in either going forth or retracting from something, and you feel this lack, this inferiority because you see everybody around you having spontaneous fun, and here you are not being sure what options to choose because too many options, and when there's too many options your judgment is clouded, you're indecisive, maybe overwhelmed, and you just want to be spontaneous, carefree and adventurous and going in for the fun of it. Just be driven, just be passionate, just be energetic and youthful and curious and innocent, maybe even immature about something, like not fearing consequences of your choices. And how does this affect you in your day-to-day life? Like, do you think you are too set, too settled, too boring, too predictable? Especially because the Page of Wands is absolutely unpredictable as fuck. It will like take a left because he sees a butterfly and it's cute and it's interesting. Not afraid of going into wild situation for the sake of exploring and testing new grounds and just having fun. This is the pure embodiment of fun at all levels. It's that first tentative step into the unknown and just having a wild, unbridled, consequence-free fun. It has a certain background or a certain amount of knowledge compared to the Fool, but it's really just chasing adventures and knowing that the process will be fun and going for it, especially because it's promising to be fun. But it's also about communication and learning. So are you learning to trust a more wilder aspect of you in making choices and be less restrictive or pedantic or more carefree and less spending a whole week or 3 months making a decision about options that you may have? Anger. Oof, this is interesting. Anger is fear in disguise, and this is directly related to communication, fast-paced communication, energetic back and forth, the fire, the energy, the passion behind. Just like imagine the Olympics and the javelin thrower who throws that piece of wood, multiply that by 8 and that's this card. It's this force to be reckoned with. And technically one of your cards as a Virgo, as a sign of earth, it's stable, reliable, knowing that the ground underneath the horse's foot is solid. It's paying attention to details. It's a slow process, but you are sure that the next move will pay off in the exact way in which you want. And so it angers you when people are too fast, too dashing, too impromptu, too improvising, too quick, too passionate, doing things without thinking things through, communicating without thinking things through, sharing things without thinking things through, and it just irks you because you are the complete opposite. So you need to find the middle ground between way too slow and taking way too much time in progressing anywhere versus the complete opposite energy that people do not waste any time in making certain things abundantly clear or proceeding forward in the capacity of fire and energy and being driven and doing things. So these qualities in a person really affects you because it's a complete opposite reflection of you in your core identity and who you are and how you like to manage things and how to, because the way you have been doing things, it has proven you over time that when you go slow and steady, you will win the race and the outcome is a guaranteed thing. Whereas these people, especially if we add in this card, it's just wild, unbridled, spontaneous, fiery, passionate, adventurous. I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be fun, let's go, bam 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 bam. And you are, let's analyze this, let's make sure it's potent, let's make sure there's return on investment, let's make sure the ground is solid, that we know the direction, we studied the course, we're going to go this way, it's gonna profit that way. It's the complete opposite energy. And so this affects you because, how should I say this? It's the same way well, it just triggers you because it's completely opposite to your own nature. And you can admire it or find redeeming qualities in it, but at the end of the day, you cannot fight your inner core nature, and this is almost stabbing you in a way, because it's too fast, too violent, too passionate, too energetic, too fiery, too intense. You are a calm, studied, what's the word, poised sort of energy, and you like stability and a nice summer breeze, not a whole ass hurricane coming at you in terms of energy and being driven, but especially communication. What you do not talk about, your secrets, could be family secrets, what you fear people might find out, and you are not comfortable talking about healing and balance, which I do not understand why, since this energy would bring a middle ground between your just now previous two cards, the Knight of Pentacles, the slowest guy in the whole freaking deck, and the Eight of Wands, which is the second most fast and furious card in the tarot. Oh, and here we have the other super fucking fast homie, the Knight of Swords. So you don't talk about how you are trying to mitigate and temper your prone to quick answer at the risk of hurting others, even if it's not your intention, because you are just brash about it, but you are holding yourself to try to find a middle ground, to poise your words and not act irrationally, especially in communication, but also in actions, so that it doesn't come off as contrary to your nature. So you are not letting others know that it takes you a bit of effort and work to temper yourself and dampen your enthusiasm, especially in actions and communication. And it takes you a little bit of time and energy to alchemize various aspects of you so that you're not too slow but also not too brash. It's like you're trying to harmonize these very contrasting energies. And maybe you want to make it seem as it's completely fluent and natural, but it does take maybe a second to like ground yourself, collect your thoughts, and then let communication out in a fashion and in a demeanor and in a way that passes for higher upper class or more thought out or just more responsible, more mature, more educated or higher echelon compared to what you really at the heart of your hearts would like to just spit out and get over with. But you know that that process, that method, that raw energy could come off as brash and not necessarily egomaniac, but just like I don't give a fuck about you and how you receive my message and my action. So you slow yourself down and you temper everything, your emotions, your psychology, your words, your vocabulary, especially your vocabulary and your tone, so as to deliver the message in a harmonious way that doesn't leave much to the others to interpret in a way that is outside of your control over how you deliver the message. And so you are minimizing potential conflict, and because you're diminishing conflict, there's no way in your head, rational-wise, that the others can misinterpret what you are coming across. But you are not talking about how this is a whole process for you, that it's not a God-given natural ability that you need to like mix to contrary energies, to opposing forces like we had in the Knight of Pentacles and Eight of Wands, to come across deliberately clear, precise, concise, with a certain appeal, a certain standing, and it's not just, you know, straight, you know the expression. And now your last set of cards: self-loathing, self-forgiveness, self-love. And you are loading the fact that you are focused and hyper-focused and investing way too much time into spilled milk, into sorrow, into depression, into mourning, into focusing on what you have ruined and lost, and not enough on what is still there, but you have your back turned on it. And if you can somehow manage to forgive yourself for the things that you have broken and ruined, maybe you would have enough energy to remember that there are still options available to you. You just need to like turn around, bright eye, and see that there are things still waiting for you. And this is definitely in regards to happiness, celebration, community, and joyful exchanges. So collaboration pops to mind. If you have wronged someone, and if that someone has cut you out of their lives, try to find a reasonable way to communicate that is not too brash but not too slow, to maybe invite them back into your life somehow if you're not blocked, and open that door, open that gate. See that you are still there looking for their company, their insight, their thoughts, and you are still looking to share the bounty of joyful celebrations, that you are still interested, that you are not completely dead. But for that you need to step out of your self-imposed imprisonment, your self-imposed blindfolded negative self-talk, and use your rationale and your ability to communicate to share your desires in a meaningful, clear, compassionate way. But if you are constantly focusing on this lack, on what you have lost, you will never turn around and see what you still potentially have. And if you get lost in the illusions of too many options, you will always be hindered and be held back and stagnate in this place where you cannot move forward. So I'm going to lay all the cards in the center of my table, and we're gonna wrap up with whatever last things, insights will come to me. Feel free to take a screenshot of this. Meditate on the pictures, on the imagery, on what you see and how it makes you feel. As for me, I'm gonna start with right off. What really popped to mind in this setup, this convenient setup, is how you are starting with very dark, heavy, inescapable, unavoidable tragedy and drama, and the consequences of something that was built on weak foundations, on weak grounds, and now you are feel destitute and poor and left out in the cold. But these two happening at night, and then we have this whole segment of predominantly light energy, and then you are concluding with again predominantly darkness. Well, it's more like a 50-50 with the last card, but the predominant energy is still her black robe that is cloaking her and shrouding her in darkness. Whereas in the first instances, darkness was all around and their cloaks were white and pale, signifying their innocence maybe, or that it's not as heavy a burden that one would imagine. In the last card, it's a self-imposed, by choice, black robe and black cloak, maybe because somebody was making the wrong decision. Notice how she also has a black dress, whereas everybody else is predominantly either in white, gold, red, red, black and white, red. Only these two: illusions, delusions, option, choices, uncertainty, unclarity, and then not lacking. Mourning the consequences of something is in black. Well, I mean, obviously, if you were fooled by a wrong option and you took that route, you are now focusing on, you are missing this joyful interaction, this opportunity to celebrate and to be carefree and just, you know, having fun with your community, your peers, your family, your friends, whatever this group represents to you. Well, these were my final thoughts, messages, inspiration, intuition. So I'm gonna stack these gently away and dive into your oracle cards. Oops, a little piggy. Oh, come on now, sleepy weepy. And for this I'm gonna shuffle live on camera. So let me see. Yes. What lies beneath? What's blocking you? And then the future higher self and shadow work. These are positive. These could be potentially a little more spicy, giving you clarity on things to address, to focus on, to clarify, to shed light upon. So what does Virgo need to know at this time? Whoa. Hiding. Oh, to Virgo. My darling. You need to express how you feel to the one you love to see how they feel in return. So this could be your Eight of Wands, but mostly the Temperance card in how to communicate with the Queen and the Knight of Swords. Try to focus mostly on the Queen, since Queens are more expert at communicating things in a clear fashion, whereas Knights are still a little immature and could use the wrong words or be self-centered, especially the Knight of Swords. Fear of touch. You don't trust touch. Take small steps until you feel comfortable with others. So this is a fear of intimacy, but also a fear of vulnerability. And touch, yes, it can be physical, but it also can be emotional. You don't like to, let's say, be in touch with your emotions because you have been taken advantage of. So you are closing yourself off, especially with the Queen of Swords, who builds boundaries because she has been betrayed one too many times by someone inconsiderate and selfish. But also, if you're hiding feelings, you are potentially missing out on experiences. And is that why you had, or potentially triggering or going back to this card, because you are now regretting not allowing something to be communicated, to be shared, and so you feel like you missed on amazing opportunities, perhaps. Lipstick stain. Are you in for love or are you in for sex and physical stuff, even though you don't like touching? Bugaboo. I have no idea what this card means. I'm sorry, I'm not American, and if this is like an American expression or slang, If you as my viewer is an American Virgo, you would know more than me on that. But back to lipstick stain. Is something, a stain remains with you. And lipstick is on the lips, so a kiss, so intimacy. So is this like a love related thing? Well, I mean, it could be with hidden feelings and fear of touch, definitely love and sex at some point, but also intimacy and vulnerability. And I have no idea what bugaboo means. Whoa, sorry about that. But at least only one felt the right way. You've had the power all along. Like now, all you need. You've had the power all along. Now you need to just believe it. And this is basically this. Queen of Swords, and also this card. You have the power to juggle and make of two things one new element if you focus on it. New chapters require a new version of you, so allow these two with the aid of Temperance, so the mixing of two completely opposite energies into becoming this one final thing. It's an active communication based on concrete actions also, that is hyper focused, that is meaningful, that is driven, that has some oomph and some speed and some momentum to it, without being too brash and too self-centered and just cutting or potentially harmful, because a knight is still a youthful-ish energy, not as demure and poised as a king or a queen would be. Last card here. There is a way if you are willing to change the way you see it, and that is adaptability, and just if you can get rid of excess things in your surrounding, you will be able to see what holds value and what is just a fool's gold and a waste of your time and energy and all that stuff. Discernment. Okay. Find wholeness, and cards fell on. My cards fell on the floor. Inner balance and deception. So find wholeness. Bring together fragments that complete you. That will also be the Temperance card that is underneath. Just hello. Here. Bring together fragments that complete you. Acceptance, inner peace, that's basically Temperance. Inner balance, also Temperance. What you resist persists. What you accept transforms. The more you are focused on what you do not have, what you are lacking, what you have been missed an opportunity upon, the more you dwell and linger in that energy, the more you are unbalanced. And the more you are resisting to turn around and see those options, the more you are dissatisfied. Deception. A slippery slope erodes trust. Honesty fosters connection and authenticity. This would definitely be the Queen of Swords, who is a no bullshit woman, who speaks her mind, speaks the truth, sets boundaries. She doesn't tolerate lies, deceit, anything of that sort. And that is actually, in fact, the sort of basis which will, if something is built upon deception, a lack of honesty and authenticity, that is what is a highway express route to the Tower, and to eventually a Five of Pentacles, a lacking, being abandoned, and stress and worry for no reason, because you just didn't play the game fairly, honestly, and no transparency, no trust, no integrity. Ergo, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And on this note, I hope this was helpful in any meaningful way. Hope this brought you insights, clarity, clarification. Only take what resonates. Love you. Stay peachy. And if you can take notes and like try to journal about this, write down how you feel, what triggered what, how you can address those on yourself, in therapy, with friends that you trust, feel comfortable with. My aim and my purpose is to shed some light on things that you are aware or almost aware. Just need like a little pointing direction, a little guidey thingy, so you can address, to work and heal and grow stronger from these vulnerabilities, these weaknesses, these things that need to be patched up, so that you can stand on your own without a crutch and walk into the future with confidence. Ciao, ciao, Virgo.